Yeah, big game for the Women's International. In the Aviva Stadium against England, European champions. Let's not forget. Uh, England just the challenge we're going to be meeting against them. They haven't been in greatest form, Paul, and they had a poor enough Nations League campaign by their high standards. I think the Netherlands won their group and didn't do too well. And of course, they had, as you said, right correctly said, they had a draw, 1-1 draw with Sweden. Many people felt Sweden probably had the best chances to win that game, to be quite honest. So England are coming in probably not in their best form. Ireland, as we know, they had a credible. Like I know, we're not into the business of moral victories anymore. The women accept that, but they had a 1-0 loss against the French. I thought they defended very well, but they gave away a cheap goal, Paul. That's the thing. That was the thing. That's the killer. But they did well, Paul. In fairness, not to crumble. We've seen Irish teams in the past where they might have gone behind early in the game against a much bigger nation, and obviously much higher rankings. Let's be fair. But they hung on in there. It's just we didn't really create many chances, Paul. We didn't have many shots on goal, and the French, although we kept it out, who defended very well. It's just a sickener the way the goal that we gave up, and we can't really afford to give up them sort of chances against England, set pieces and stuff like that. Very good from them as well. So it's going to be a very, very tough battle tonight. Look, they're playing the Viva before, they know what it's like, but this is the first nighttime game, big game they've had there. So it'd be interesting to see how we cope with it.
Yeah, I suppose the thing about England is, Noel, England won the Euros, is it 2 years ago? Last summer they got to the World Cup final, and I think like all the top teams, what they're doing is they're bringing in younger players, which you have to do. So in a strange way, that might actually help Ireland, but that's what they're doing. But the English, they have a huge, big underage structure, a huge lot of money behind it. They're well financed. They have a lot of good young players coming through. So I think they're bringing these young players through. So that might slightly affect their form. But all these players coming through now, they'll be playing, I presume, all in the top women's Super League in England. They've played under 19 for England, is it under 21 or whatever the underage grades are. So they're going to be strong. And of course, most the Irish players play in England too, nearly all of them, except for one or two of them in America and one in Belgium, I think, and a couple of them in the panel from the League of Ireland. But most of the Irish players play in the second division, we call the championship, for the want of a better term. So there's only a handful playing the first flight. So there is a bit of a local derby. They know the players. Some of their teammates will actually be on the team, maybe so against each other. But it's going to be tough. England will be coming looking for the win. They were disappointed with the draw at home, but so I think England, as I said, younger players coming through, but they will be very hard to beat, and it's going to be what kind of a game do you think will be with both teams? Will it be cagey, or will Ireland go in the front foot, or what your thoughts?
I don't think. I think we'll try and keep it tight. The old cliche, try and keep it tight for the first 10, 15 minutes. Not give away a goal like we did against the French, because England are probably seeing this as a must-win game, Paul, to be fair. And France and Sweden are the other two nations in our group, as we know. And England still have to play. I know it's only the first game, but England are very disappointed at home, just losing 2 points to Sweden. They feel they should be winning their home games, and England will probably feel from the English media and how they're analysing it. This is probably the must-win game and a game they expect to win. I know it's obviously in Landsowne Road and the Viva Stadium, the Irish crowd, and they accept that, but they probably are coming for a victory. I think they will see it as very, very poor first two results if they end up drawing against Sweden and coming to Dublin and drawing as well. So they'll put themselves on the back foot, because the top two places obviously qualify you for the Euros in Euro 2025. But the playoffs do get you to another route. But England will be seeing themselves, the holders of the European Championships, as you said yourself earlier on, they got to the World Cup. So they will see this as a step down if they have two poor enough results at the start of the campaign, because they'll be seeing themselves as top in this group. So if they want to top this group, and because they've got the French still to play, England will probably view this as a must-win game and a game they would expect to win. And to be fair, Paul, I know it's a local derby and stuff. I don't know, we pride ourselves always against the old enemy. We all in anything, whether it's soccer, rugby, whatever, even a game of chess. We want to beat England, but I think England. If you ask me how the game will go, I think we'll keep it tight. I don't think it'll be much in it, Paul, but I do think England will get the edge, and I think England will probably just grind it out and get a 1-0 or 2-1 win.
Yeah, just go back to the French game. You mentioned it. We conceded a goal from a free kick. And again,
Yeah,
I know, look, we have to be fair. This is not trying to put the knife in, but we have to be give genuine criticism. This is something that you can work on, defending and attacking set pieces, but defending set pieces. Yeah, it was a good free kick. The ball came across and the player knocked it across, but the French player was just knocked it into almost an empty net was there. These are things you can work on. You don't have to be the best player in the world. You don't have to be a world superstar to be a good defender from set pieces. So that's crucial again, that you're solid at set pieces. And is that a worry or a concern?
It would be a worry, Paul, because particularly in the manner that we conceded, it was such a cheap goal to give away. I think even, I think the player that was going for the goal, I think she was going for goal herself. It's just that it went across the goal, if you get me, and then it was just a tap in for the, I can't pronounce her name now, whether she was, I don't think she was a striker, but the fact is, there were two, there was no real challenge on them, if you get me, Paul. There was no struggle, if you get me. It was just an easy touch across the goals, and she was there to knock it into the back of the net. So two players, they were touch tight. There was nothing really in it that, from a defensive point of view, it was very, very poor to give away a cheap goal. And the French created a lot of chances, but Courtney Brosnan, she got player of the match. But there is, if you're a player of the match is the goalkeeper, that means you're under sustained pressure all the time, and we're not able to keep the ball ourselves and get up the pitch. That's something that we're going to have to do in the game against England tonight. When we're under pressure, Kira Carusa, anyone, just get the ball up into the English half of the field, buy a free kick, slow the game down. Look, because teams have done it against us, we have to, frustrate England is what I'm saying. Look, we don't expect to win any of these games, Paul. I think even the start of this preview of the group, we were saying that we'd be lucky to get third, and that's still the case. I don't see us winning. To be fair, I don't see us winning any game. I think if we can get a draw here or there at home, possibly. But I think the quality is so high in this group with England, France, and Sweden that not that we have to accept it, but being realistic, we're not exactly at their level just yet. But we are improving year on year. But to get back to the game, I think England will see this as a game that they have to win, that they feel they should win. And I think they will win tonight, to be fair.
Yeah. Now, in fairness to the Irish team, France got the goal from the free kick afterward, maybe 5-10 minutes. I was afraid France were going to score 2 and 3, and they dominated the first half. But in fairness to the Irish, you can saw that they had a bit of luck, but they dug out. They got to half time at only 1-0 down, which I thought was a great achievement because they seemed to be all over the shop for a while there. But the whole in there, last tackles, good solid defence. And they only ended up losing 1-0. So in fairness to them, it was a poor goal to concede from a free kick. But if we're going to be critical, we also have to say at least they hung on and they were only beaten 1-0 because maybe I'd say they've learned from the World Cup. Before, if this was this time last year, they'd probably lost 3 or 4 that game, but they dug in for only a 1-0 defeat. So as the saying goes, we have to be fair on both sides.
That's for sure, Paul. Look, I'm hoping we can get a result today, to be honest with you. Do I think, Paul, I know just focus on the women's game, but do I PC is the timing of these games for the women internationals. I don't know what would you view in it, but the fact they're on the same night as a Champions League night, Arsenal playing Bayern Munich and Real Madrid playing Man City, just in terms of viewership and stuff and people watching it, I just feel that it's a bit against this, to be honest with you, Paul.
In fairness, no, they're two separate competitions. And there's so many games on now, Noel. Like in my day when I was growing up, all the European games were played on Wednesday night. But now they're on Tuesday nights, Wednesday nights, Thursday nights. Yeah, the various leagues are playing Sundays, Mondays. So it's very, very hard to pick a date with it,
I totally accept. I just think it's just a pity because I lost all the focus for everyone in terms of football supporters should be on this game. But you know yourself, Paul, people there's huge interest in the Premier League, and particularly when Premier League clubs are playing in England. Viewership goes up to the roof in terms of our own broadcasters here in Ireland, and obviously the English broadcasters, the pubs and the clubs that we're watching them. I just think I hope. Look, I do think they will get a good, decent crowd tonight, and they'll all be there supporting them. You mentioned there the young English players. One big thing plus for England is their captain of the Euros, Leah Williamson. She plays for Arsenal. She's a centre back. She's been out for the last year or so with an ACL. She had a bad injury. She actually missed the World Cup last year. She's one of their best players. She's actually started tonight. I think Serena Wiegman has said that she's going to start tonight centre back. She's actually a teammate of Katie McCabe. So there's going to be there's going to be no friendship once they cross the right line.
Well, of course,
tonight,
no, if you go back to 1988 or whatever year when you had Frank Stapleton was captain of Ireland and Brian Robson was captain of England, both were playing with Manchester United today. So there is no, there's a precedent for this. There is a history in this kind of a thing of club players playing against each other. And when England and Scottish players would have played and Welsh and Northern Ireland players, so there's a history of that, was there?
Oh yeah, that's for sure. And look, it's all great battles. Look, they'll meet up after the game and go back to the clubs, and whoever will have the bragging rights or the bit of slagging when they're back on the plane to London for the following day or the couple of days training afterwards. But look, it's a great occasion playing England. I think this is how far the women's game has come in the last. I mean, you could say in the last 6 or 7 years. I mean, it wasn't that long ago when they were doing the shoot massive protests in Liberty Hall. So they've come a long way. They're in the Viva Stadium tonight. I wish them all the best. I'm hoping for a draw. It wouldn't be absolutely brilliant, Paul, but be just watching the way things are at the moment. I just think England will just edge it. I think it'll be close. I think we'll hang in there, possibly score a goal, but I think England will just probably have too much for us. They should, because based on their form, based on who they are, based on the players, the squad they have, their manager, everything, you would expect England to just edge it. But should be a Titanic.
Yeah, I suppose against France that someone said they had 5 centre backs. They were kind of a more defensive lineup. Do you think Eileen Gleeson, the manager, head coach, would she have more of a positive, maybe not just having one foot forward, but maybe trying to have two and trying, or what do you think her thoughts on that would be?
Well, yeah, Ciara Caruso can be very excuse me, isolated sometimes up front, and I think she needs a lot of support, because when we have a chance of attacking it, we got to take it. We're not going to get many opportunities, Paul, to be quite honest. We didn't get many against France, and against the top teams, as you know yourself, you will only get one, possibly 2 big chances, if that at all, and you have to take them. You have to be able to do that. So set pieces is going to be massive. Even in the French game, Megan Campbell, her long throws, a bit like Roy Delappy, if you remember. They are the sort of things we need to take advantage of. We need to get support up to our forwards, and obviously make sure we defend them well in numbers. We don't get hit on the counter attack. But when we have a chance to attack, yes, I totally agree with you. We've got to attack, get up the pitch. We've got to create chances. So, look, I think we're more attacking because we are at home. You'll be expecting a little bit of that, a bit of blood and thunder, and a bit of few tackles in. Maybe not late tackles because we want to get yellow cards early in the game. But yeah, we have to bring a battle to England, because they're better players. We have to admit that.
And they're a better squad. I always say it isn't just the first 11. It's the 4 or 5 subs, but on the extended panel, they have a stronger squad and that's a higher quality. That's just facts.
Yeah, and you have to use anything at all, any advantage you have to bring them down to a level where you can compete and hopefully beat them. And I think that's what we have to do tonight. I just think I don't see England losing. I think it would be brilliant to get a point, but I think England will just edge it. I don't hope they don't, but I just think England will have too much for us tonight. And I think it'll be close battle. I'm hoping for close battle.
Sorry for cutting across you. It will be important to try and get a goal, even a 1-1 draw, because the danger is you go 1-0 down or 2-0 down. You're at 2 games played with no goals. And that can sap away your confidence too. We'll say, even if you lose a game 2-1, but at least you get a goal anyway, we'll say, show that you can score because you are playing at the highest level. I think the 3 teams are in the top 6 ranked teams in the world, Sweden, France and England. So even just to get a goal against one of the teams at home, it boosts the confidence of the younger player in the whole panel, we'll say.
That's true, Paul. The last thing we want to do now is having 2 games played and no goals scored and maybe 1 or 2 or 3 conceded. I think that's why I'm saying a 2-1. I think that's why I'm thinking Ireland are capable of putting up to England tonight. I think set pieces, as I said, Louise Quinn. I know Niamh Fahey's out. I know Niamh Fahey is. I think she's out with injury. But we've always been good in set pieces and throw-ins and free kicks and corner kicks. I do think there's a goal in us, and that'd be good. Because I think it'll step away. Like you said, it'll step away at the confidence of the team if we play 2 games, played really well. Got a very credible. I know we lost 1-0 lost against the French, and then a battle against England. So I think it'll be good versus to score goals, to bring the confidence as hope in the next round of games. But yeah, I just think that England will probably have too much for us tonight. But that's not shame. That's not disgrace either. It's coming from where we were 5 or 6 years ago. I think that's major progress, to be fair. Yeah.